Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Rants of the Spirit. I'm one of your hosts, Miguel.
And I am Dustin.
Hope everybody's having a good and blessed day. If this is the day where you are listening to, if not, hope you're having a great night. If it's your first time listening, we welcome you. We hope you like the content. If you are a returning listener, we thank you for your support. We hope you are liking what you see and hear. And go ahead and drop us a like and a comment. Let us know, maybe some things that you'd like for us to cover. And you can also send us a message. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right. Today, we don't really have any updates because we already updated everybody on Sunday. So if you haven't listened to that, go ahead to that video. It's about 17 minutes long. It's updating you on everything that is going on for us. Dustin, stop throwing things. um, and you can and listen to all that there. Today, we're going to go a little deeper into our mini series, Spiritual Warfare. This is episode 2. So if you haven't listened to episode 1, go ahead and check that out. It's called Getting Ready for War, I believe. We're gearing up for war.
It's ready for war.
Ready for war. One of those. It was something about war. And this is going to be episode 2, where we're talking about the 3 different levels of spiritual warfare. So let's get into it. Today's has been kind of a funny thing about it because it's been kind of a spiritual warfare anyway for the both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, it has.
now, is it strategic, personal, or ground?
Personal.
Good. Yes. So yes.
Aha.
Aha! So yes, it is that. It's been quite of a day for us, and so it is rightfully so that we should only talk more about spiritual warfare while going through spiritual warfare.
Exactly.
So that is, bring it on. But yeah, 3 kinds of spiritual warfare. Like you said when I had asked him, I said, is it, which one is it? And he said personal. So like personal warfare is your internal. It is your thoughts, your emotions, your doubts, your fears, different things of that nature. Is personal warfare. Something that it can look like is, being a Christian but doubting God. That's personal spiritual warfare. You being in depression and anxiety, and that's personal spiritual warfare. You trying to conquer your thoughts and trying to think, not so negative, and all these different things is spiritual warfare personally. And so with that, I think a lot of us go through more personal spiritual warfare than anything else. Um, I know for me, I've had them all, but I think the most that I fight is personal. What about you?
Definitely personal. A lot more than ground level or
That's a big word for Elmo.
Yep.
Strategic.
Yeah.
So yeah, to describe ground level is
Demonic.
demonic influences. Ground level is kind of like deliverance, like ministry. Ground level is actually doing the work of spiritual warfare, which is scriptures and prayer and fasting and delivering, covering and intercession. That kind of stuff takes place under groundwork. Then you have strategic, which is more of a territorial. It's different religions and different principalities and laws and governments and things of that and things of that nature. Witchcraft is a really big one. When it comes to strategic warfare, when you get to strategic warfare, it's the enemy has put a target on your back. It is very much where you go, where you walk, what you do, who you speak with, everything, the whole um,
The
in,
whole 9 yards.
infrastructure is falling apart at the seams. Nobody to trust, that kind of thing. So yeah, but those are the three uh, a different. Wow, multiple words for a second there. Those are the three levels of spiritual warfare. Any thoughts on that?
No, I don't know. I had a question, then it disappeared.
I think if you're going through spiritual warfare, I
Yeah,
think you should take this and really learn and learn to identify which one it is.
yeah. There's not a lot. I feel like there's not a lot to the like. There's a lot to the three, but like not a lot to talk about for all three of them.
What do you mean?
Like I don't know how to put that.
I mean, let's look at it. Spiritual warfare is real.
Yeah.
Spiritual warfare is a real thing. And really, I mean, a lot of people deal with spiritual warfare more than others is because some people are putting more of the work more than others. I mean, when it really comes down to it, you should be doing ground spiritual warfare every single day. Every single day, you should be some kind of in some kind of intercession, some kind of covering, some like, and even strategic. You should be doing every single day. Like you
Hmm.
should be able to identify where the enemy is in your life. You're supposed to a strong believer in the faith
Hmm.
knows where the enemy is, knows the signs of when the enemy is coming in,
Hmm.
knows how to turn off the temptation, knows how to turn
Yeah.
and so that's something that we should all really be working on to. And you can't really work up to it if you can't identify it,
Yeah.
and like you can't be like, for instance, a lot of times when people are like dealing like with certain like really strong sins and stuff like that, and they think it's just them, and I keep on sinning and I keep doing this over and over and over and over and over, you have to ask yourself if it's demon related, because demons can hold you into a stronghold to where you're sinning over and over and over again, and you can't break free from it. And you have to also ask, is it witchcraft? Because the witchcraft can do the same thing. Um, so there's a lot of powers at stake. So when the Bible talks about principalities, he's not joking.
Yeah.
It's not just this little thing here, this little thing here. These are very big forces that are coming against you. And learning how to deal with it, being strategic in your own prayer life, using the word of God the way that's supposed to be done, praying like it's supposed to do. People, like if you stop and you look at it, people have prayed down fires
Hmm.
from the heavens
Hmm.
by a prayer. People have prayed against witchcraft and the other person has dropped dead.
Hmm.
People have stopped portals in their own home. People like what comes out of your mouth
Hmm.
is so powerful, especially in prayer. Is so powerful that like it talks about like what we just discussed on the last episode is that it does things in the spirit what you say,
Yeah.
which is why it's always to be careful what you say. When people say, "Oh, I wish for this," or "I need this," or da 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 da, sometimes shut your mouth.
Some people don't know how to do that.
Are you some people?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you gotta shut your mouth. And also shut your mouth because you give the enemy power. You let the enemy have your playbook because you simply run your mouth.
Yeah.
He knows what's bothering you. He knows your next steps. Like he knows it all because you went and you said something to somebody and he was just running your mouth and he was like, "Oh yeah? Let me take notes."
Yeah.
Oh wow, this really get them crazy? I'm gonna do a whole lot more of that. Like so I think like for us knowing how to identify can really change the way that we actually fight our battles. That if you knew, I mean, if you think about it, when you go to war, when a country goes to war, and let's say we go to war with another country, do you think that we have very little information about the other country?
No.
Like in the military, do they go to war when they have barely any information,
No,
or do they go to war when they when they can write a book about it?
when they can do a TV show on it.
That's it. So, if what happens if you were to take that exact situation and put it in your and put it into spiritual warfare? What if instead of the devil having a one up on you, you had a one up on him?
Hmm.
Simply because you knew your enemy and you knew how he moves and you knew how he communicates and you knew and you also didn't give him your playbook and you didn't give the victory. How much better then would you be able to fight him?
10 times better.
So what do you think it stops people from knowing? I mean, so if I were to tell you, if I'm another country and like I know you're gonna hit me with whatever you got,
Hmm.
do I just sit back and just sit and let you tell me where? Or do I do my research and say they're probably coming from over here, which means I need to go over here and I want to stop them before they get here. I'm not going to let them come all the way. I'm not even going to let them cross the border.
Yeah,
So how do you think you could do that when it comes to the enemy? Like, oh wait a
you're
minute,
right.
he starts cooking. Uh-uh. We
Yeah,
don't we don't we're not going to let him come but so far.
yeah.
How do you do that?
Your word,
And
praying.
you give me very basic
Well,
ways here, but do you believe that you go to war?
spiritually or physically or mentally?
Both.
Physically, no. Mentally, yes.
You don't think physically?
I've never looked at it that way. So
So watch me. Ready?
okay.
There's a what for every what?
Uh,
There's a for every action.
there's a consequence.
There's a reaction.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, you're kind of right. Like um, there is a. Got it. Now you want me? Now I want to say react or consequence. There is react a reaction for it, and think of it this way: like I can't. If it's true what we said last episode, where there is a reaction for your action and there's a spiritual consequence for things that we do, then wouldn't that make sense that I have to do things and perform the physical faith in the flesh
Yeah.
because I'm not spirit, right? I'm here.
Mhm.
I'm alive. I'm here.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that make sense that I got to do things in my daily life in order to have the spiritual war ground that I want?
Yeah. I mean,
So then you're physical and you're spiritual. Because your spiritual self, it's not your spiritual self that's going to read. It's you.
mhm.
It's not your spiritual self that's going to pray. I mean, well, actually that's like, yes, there is. But so will you.
Yeah.
You know.
When you put it like that, yeah, definitely.
So knowing where the enemy is coming from. How is he attacking me right now? Hold on. He's dealing personally with me. Cool. So when he's dealing with me personal, I know he's fighting me in my head. He's fighting me in my spirit. I know that.
Mhm.
When he's fighting me on the ground, I know it's an external force. It's evil forces coming to put different ideas on the inside of me. It's evil forces kind of messing up my day, messing up my relationships, messing up this, that, and the other, or messing with my psyche. Like that's ground. I need deliverance. I need prayer, I need fasting, I need that kind of thing. And then when he does it strategically. Now, strategically, check it out. First Peter talks about that in First Peter 5:8, where he says what? He says, be vigilant and sober minded, For your enemy, the devil walks around like a roaring lion, seeing who he can devour. What does that tell me? It tells me that the enemy is what?
So stupid on that question.
Watching you. When you talk to your parents or when you talk to a friend or you talk to this, he's watching you. I can see him getting mad. What? Let me poke the bear. What? I can hear the kind of conversations you're having. I can do this, that, and the other. So now we know that we're exposed. What happens to a country that's exposed in war? They get destroyed.
Yeah.
So why does this sin, or why does this, or why does this keep like there's nothing I can do about it? It just keeps happening. I try to control it. It won't. Da 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 da. Are you using the same tactics? Is what I'm wondering. Like, if I already know, if you are a country and I'm a country and I'm going at war, if you're using the same war strategy that you've always used, best believe
I'm gonna win
I'm
10
gonna
times
win.
over.
That's it. It's like Battleship. That's why I hate that game with a passion. I am no good at Battleship, and I can't stand it because once you get one, you already know you probably got the next two or three.
Oh yeah.
Like, once I get you on one and I boom hit, I know the exact area of where to shoot.
Oh, I love that game.
Can't stand Battleship. It gets on my nerves. I'm no good at it. That's probably why, and that's really bad sportsmanship. That's just the truth. Can't stand that game.
It's because you don't know how to play it
No,
properly.
I know how to play it.
No, I'm saying like strategic wise.
Yes, I know how to play it. I grew up on that game. As an adult, I don't have the patience nor the time for it. I don't care about it that much. Like,
Well, there's tournaments and everything on that game.
yes, I know, and I can't. Don't no. I don't like watching people play Battleship. I don't want to think. The only time that I remember doing, and this is off topic, people, but the only time I remember playing Battleship was in an old lifestyle, and it was drunk Battleship. That was the only time that I, as an adult, enjoyed playing Battleship. Which I don't enjoy those activities anymore because I'm not a drinker anymore because God saved me. Uh, so therefore I don't like Battleship. But the point of it is just like once the devil gets you on his radar, do you really think? I mean, are we to think that the devil is stupid? No, he's very smart. Like, people are like, oh, well, don't give the devil too much power. You just being dumb. He's not dumb.
Yeah,
Like, you're dumb to think he's dumb.
that's fair.
He's a lead angel. You think he's dumb?
Apparently.
Like, he's battled Michael, Raphael, all the other ones. Do you think he's dumb? Do you think Michael, the Archangel, and the rest of them are dumb?
Mm,
No. So why would he be dumb?
yeah.
And he can't be that dumb. Have we forgotten he took over an entire world? He and no glory to him because at the end he loses.
Yeah.
And I don't have to fear him because of who's on the inside of me. Because he don't have to be afraid of me, but he afraid of that thing inside of me.
His daddy.
His daddy. Okay? Like, so 100%. But the thing about it is, if he sees you try, you ever realize that you try to clean up your own life and you try to do it in the exact same way every time? Oh, I'm gonna get better at cussing. I'm gonna get better at this. I'm gonna get better at that. But your approach to it is always the same. Are you really expecting a different outcome?
Yeah.
What's the definition of insanity?
That I cannot
The
give you.
definition of insanity is doing the same thing every time and expecting a different outcome.
Well then.
Doing the exact same thing, saying, I'm going to keep putting this Coke bottle right here, but I want it over there.
Yeah.
But all I'm going to keep doing is keep putting this. And then what? I'm going to get mad because it's not over there? But I did nothing different to get the outcome that I'm looking for. I've done nothing different. So what happens if you learn this, right? So we have personal, Okay, when he's attacking that, I need to know what space he's in. Okay, well now he's attacking me ground. All right, cool. I need to hit it with the fasting. I need to hit it with the other. Now let's talk strategic. Like I said, he's a roaring lion. He's seeking whom he shall devour. Or sorry, wow, seeking whom it shall devour. So the other one, I have to look this up real quick because I just so. But I do believe that the other one is Luke 10:19. And I'm gonna be right real quick. You ready for it? Because I already know I'm right. I think I already remember what it is. Luke 10:19. Yes. And he says, so he says, Behold, I have given you authority to tread on serpents and scorpions, and all over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall hurt you. I have given you the power. Another thing about this is the fact that we think that we can't. How many times a day do you say I can't? Especially when it comes to
Less,
spirituality.
less now.
When it comes to spiritual things, how many times do you say I can't?
I don't.
Oh, I can't help that. It's just how I am. Or I just got mad. That's what happens when I get mad. I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
How many times do you say that? If we're all being
If it's got
if we're all being truthful, we're all honest. We all think that way.
Yeah.
Because you forget what kind of power that we actually have.
Yeah.
You forget that you already have victory over the enemy if you just stop giving him the victory.
Yeah.
If you just stop handing like, okay, here, you go in. Because you got it. Because God said that you had it. And so when we need to be strategic, now we can take that victory. Well, how do we get the victory? We're strategic about it. Do you think that there's ever a time within war that a country knows that they got it? I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
I'm sure on D-Day,
Oh yeah.
we were confident that this was going to be it.
Well.
This is the last of this war because we're done.
Yeah.
And we put in everything we got. Now, so my question, like for people, like when you're doing spiritual warfare, where's your D-Day at? At what point do you get the power? And at what point do you stop allowing the enemy to just pop up by surprise? You're surprised because you don't know your enemy. You're surprised because you underestimate him. You're surprised because you haven't been looking for him. And you might say, yo, well, hold on. Wait a minute. Why am I looking for the devil? Because you need to know where your enemy is. You know how stupid we would be in war if we didn't look to see where these people were? We'd be dumb.
Yeah.
Any move a country makes, especially when they get in our territory, do we not bird eye them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you a little far away from home, Mr. Submarine. Where you going?
Yeah.
Like,
That was
you in international waters. What are you doing? We don't like the way that look. You better speak now, forever hold your peace. Like, so what happens if you do the same? What happens if you bird eye the enemy? And you said, "Hold on, devil, you getting a little something getting a little funny over here. What you up to?"
Yeah.
Put that back. That ain't gonna work. What happens on top of that, which we'll find out in the next couple episodes. What happens if you actually started using the weapons that God
Weapons.
weapons
Mm.
weapons? What happens if you were actually using the weapons that God gave you and stop complaining and sucking it up? Like, this is war. Did you expect different? Did you expect for the devil just to let you go about your merry way? Is that what you expected to happen?
No.
Do two countries in war when they go by, hey Bob, what are you doing today? I'm finna go bomb you. Oh, okay, Bob. Well, you have fun with that. Good luck. No. So if we're in a spiritual battle indeed, then why the heck are you surprised about your hardship? Why the heck are you surprised that when you got something that when God gives a blessing that the devil's not there to take it? Why are you surprised? You should be betting on it. Betting he's gonna show up. And when he does show up, I got something for you. because seed level, you ain't taking none of this blessing here. Like knowing the levels of warfare is a key factor to knowing how your enemy works, what he looks like, what he sounds like, how he gonna show up. If you showed up this way last time, I'm gonna remember that. Check, because now when things move funny like this, I already know what's gonna happen. When my family and friends start talking crazy, I already know that the devil's doing Discord. When 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 everything starts to start to get hard, I already know I'm moving up in a different level, and the enemy wants me to back down. When I start to fear something that I should not fear, I already know it's the enemy because he don't want me to do that. Because if I do that, it's taking away from the kingdom of darkness, and he don't want that. Like you should know where he at, what he looked like when he comes, and then also know how to deny it. This is what you want from me, and you can't have it. Do we pray over our homes with it? We should. And you wonder why people in your home is acting crazy, and you ain't pray over your household. You ain't reading scripture over your household. Like, and you wonder why the devil's just in your household. On top of that, you watching and listening to things and reading things that just invite him in. I went on a tangent today because for the life of me, I could not understand why we teach legal right when it comes to demons. Because the devil doesn't have legal right. So when we talk about legal right, do you know what legal right is?
No,
Dustin, have you heard of legal right?
no.
It means that a demon has a right to oppress or some kind of have its demonic way. The Bible doesn't
So it
teach
has
it.
feelings.
Yes, demons do have feelings.
Oh, boo-hoo.
They do. Demons and they're remember, demons are angels.
Yeah,
Yes, angels have feelings.
yeah,
In fact, when the fallen, I mean, if you think about it in your word, they have desires too. They have desires. They have feelings. They have all that. I mean, how else do you think demons slept with human women?
yeah,
They had affection toward them.
yeah,
So they got feelings.
yeah.
So legal right is I get to do this because of something you did. And the Bible doesn't really talk about this. So I said, you know what? This is dumb. Why are we preaching something that's not even biblical?
Oh, that's being preached. That's crazy.
But then I agree with it. And I agreed with it because even though the Bible does not call it plainly as legal right, I think it's dumb to think that if you play with fire, you won't get burned. I don't need a science book to tell me that fire will burn me.
It's fire for a reason.
Which means if I'm doing demonic activity, I don't think it's crazy to think that it doesn't give them a right to be there for something that belongs to them.
Common sense would bring you a long way.
So when I started to look at this, I had to think about, do I actually agree with the theology? But you know what? I do know something about it. The Bible does talk about demons coming and bringing 7 others with them. The Bible does talk about being dry and barren in your spiritual life, and how that can bring demonic forces and things like that because you're not built up the way that you should. So because it doesn't plainly say it, and because we call it something different, I don't think it's crazy to follow that. So with that being said, when you are sitting there and you are allowing yourself to move a certain way, whether it's cussing, whether it's whatever, and you allow yourself, by allow yourself, I mean you make an excuse to where it's okay. And you sit there and you say, oh, well, it's because I'm mad, or it's because I'm frustrated, or because they did this to me, and this, that, and the other. And you sit there and you allow it. Are you surprised that every time it happens, that same sin won't show up in the way that you excused it the first time. It's gonna do what you allow. And honestly, it's to get it's like at the point when it comes to spiritual warfare, especially in today's day, it is at the point, and this is myself included, I am not excluded from any of this. It is at the time where you strap up your big boy pants and your big girl pants and you put the boots on and you put on the armor and you get to going and stop complaining and letting the devil feel like you have everything. He may have taken over a world, but you know the person who built it. There's no reason why the devil should be having as much havoc in our lives as he does. You know better than to let that person back into your life. You know better than to have these conversations with these people. You know better than this. So you keep doing it, which means you keep giving the devil ammo. God told you to stop talking to that person a long time ago. You still doing it.
Yeah.
God said, stop having those kind of conversations with them. Homie, they not going to listen. Don't run those things by them. Stop over here telling your dreams and things that you're doing and things like that to people who aren't going to be excited. And then you get upset and then you get stuck in a thing. Stop it. Learning how to separate yourself on these different levels with other people is going to be something that is going to bring you so much peace, because I have different kinds of friends. And I will say that my friends are my friends are not on the same level. My family is not on the same level, because I have some I can sit here and talk about Christ with, and I got some who I can't. And I got some who I just love because you're family, but they don't know things that God is doing for me. They don't know things of that nature, because there's no point, because what things that come out of your mouth is curses. I'm giving you ammo to curse the thing that God is trying to bless me with. Crazy. Because I keep talking to you and I keep telling you this and telling you this and telling you this, and everything that you come out of your mouth, every word curse they're putting on you. Because what? Two things about what God says in the mouth for spiritual warfare. She says there's life and death in the tongue.
Yeah.
Number one, right? What else? But what else does he say?
The second one.
Out of the three things actually. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Somebody tells you you can never do that. Da, da, da. They mean that. They mean that. They just told you with their mouth. They mean that. They don't think you're going to be successful. They mean that. That's how that is a curse speaking through their mouth. If there is life in the, and if you think of it, and this is where you got to be spiritual warfare. This is where you got to really think about it, because if there's power in the tongue, and God and Jesus Christ Himself, He said that He was able to walk by a tree and tell it not to, that since it wasn't fruitful, that it wasn't going to bear any more fruit. You mean to tell me by His words that happened? And you could say that God, but don't you have God inside of you? Didn't God not say? Didn't Jesus not say that you would do these things that I do and more? Yes, he did. So if I take what God says to be true and there's life and death in a tongue, then that means people aren't really joking with you, and people aren't really like, oh, well, they just didn't mean it like that. Yes, they did. And we're not talking about the casualty jokes, la ha ha, you my bestie, you know how I really feel about you. No, we talk about like people who just, oh, well, they just want me to be careful. No, they said what they said. Let that reconcile for a second. Because the devil just hit you personal. Spoke a word curse, and you walk around with the word curse and you don't even know how to break it.
Boom.
You know, learn the enemy, learn how he moves. Because then the other third verse for the mouth. So you have life and death in tongue. We have out of the abundance of the heart, and so a man thinketh in his mind, so is he. If you think that the situation's harder and there's no victory in it, you won't find it. If you keep the back door open and you not doing your due diligence, wow,
Words.
I glitched there. If you're not prayed up, if you're not worded up, if you playing games of children, because when it comes to this, like, warfare is real, and stop playing it. Stop playing the game like a child. Stop giving the devil all your information. It's time to upgrade your security system. Stop approaching it the same way, because you going to God complaining about the same thing over and over when He said that I already gave you the victory. I've already showed you how to work through that. You just, but in order for this to work, you better drop the wooden sword you got in your hand to pick up a real one. Stop playing with warfare, and stop saying that warfare exists, but not actually participating in the war. Any conclusions? You've been so quiet during this.
Because it's a lot. That's a I'm sorry.
I just feel like I gave a sermon. And it's like one of them quiet churches too. It's not even like a real like church where they're like, "Amen." No, it's the one that they just stare at you until
Yeah.
you're done.
Yeah. No, that's no. That was just it's a lot of information to take in at once.
Did you feel attacked?
No.
Okay, because you kind of were looking around a few times.
No, my eyes are dry as heck right
Yeah,
now. And so like they're itching, but this chair just makes such loud noises. I don't want
it's
the
like,
mic.
man, you really need to get my drops.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's enough on this episode. Really, like, so let's get down to it. Know where the devil's coming from. Know what level he's hitting you on. Stop thinking that it's just this or just that. Put your spiritual eyes on and really look at it for what it is. Because that person may not even know that they're being used, but it's the fact that they're being used. You don't think the devil know that they were used? You think God's the only one who uses people?
Mm,
Remember, the devil imitates God. You don't think the devil gonna try?
yeah.
God's the creator of music, but yet we have Hollywood.
Hello.
Like, but anyway, this is this part of it. Hope you guys really enjoy it. Please put in the comments, what do you think about spiritual warfare? Does like, what are your questions about it? Name us a time that you really had to really think outside the box when it came to spiritual warfare. What's something that you learned about it? Let us know in the comments. Hope everybody's having a great rest of your night or day, and we'll talk to you later.